in Pittsburgh, it's really not a lot of rental properties. Um, the ones that we do have, mostly people get in them and pretty much stay in them. So we don't have a lot, to look for when we do get ready to look. We really have to kind of go out of town, unless you know someone. And that's kind of how this was with me. I needed a place to stay. I knew JR. So I got in contact with him, and he got in contact with his aunt, Teresa, and it went from there.
And I like the job. I like to see the people when they get in the house and actually be happy. It's a lot of good people that need houses, and in this area, it's a lot of houses that are not up to par where people are comfortable. So just seeing people in comfortability is my best moment.
I've known one person, I think, that rented from Miss Tipper and Mr. August. It was Annie Mae Wright. Gilmore, I think, is her married name. But she rented the house here on Martin Luther King Avenue. Mm-hmm. And she seemed to like it, and the house was nice. Mm-hmm. So, and she always said that they were good people, and they were church members as well. Mm-hmm. So they've been knowing me all my life. So I'm 65 now, and I've been knowing them for at least 60 years. As far as their housing and how they keep their houses up, different ones that I heard talk about it said that they were good landlords. They try to work with the community to help people instead of trying to, get pennies for themselves.
My name is Arvis Wright, and I'm 85 years old. Born and raised in Pittsburgh, Texas. He lives in Asbury. I forgot what year. 1955. We got married 1957, and I started renting houses soon before I retired from Lone Star Steel. We started with 2 houses. We purchased the land from Henry Nelson, and then we fixed the houses up best we could. Then we rented them out. So after I got in age, I just couldn't handle it anymore, and I let my daughter have it, take over the business.
Well, I became landlord and Sharon became landlord in 2014. Debbie was getting up in age, and so there were so many houses that needed to be tended to, and plus the upkeep and the care of the houses was dwindling. So that's when we took over.
Question: when did I decide to step in to help my sister take over the family business? Was when she called me and told me that Dad was unable to continue and that she would like to do it. If I would back her up, then she could handle the business, and I agreed. That's when I decided to help my sister take over the family business.
Me living in Dallas, Texas, and my sister Sharon living in San Antonio, Texas, we couldn't from afar take care of these houses. So our nephew, Glenn Burdine, volunteered.
I really don't even think. I just do it. It's like I'm trying to figure out solutions before we get problems. So it's basically like, being a property manager now is something I do without even thinking about it. So it's kind of like, it's just problem solution. Basically that's how I balance them. Even at work, if I find a problem, I'm trying to calculate and figure out a solution. So, it's easy to balance. It's just time consuming.
Ask JR about that.
Drastically. Half of the time, I don't even want to go into people's houses. I'm putting on masks, shields, gloves. I'm coming in with one of those suits, what are those suits called?
Hazmat.
The hazmat suit.
Hazmat.
It's like, because a lot of people are not taking it serious. We have people still partying. running around with no mask on. It's a lot. COVID-19 has made the business a little bit scarier because you don't know what that person is doing. So we try to jump with modern day technology like Cash App, paying your rent, just stuff where it's no touch relationship.
The tenants, they were on board with it, but there's some, as JR can tell you, that have been older, that they say, I could write a check and deliver it to office right now. But that's one of the things we're trying to keep our fathers safe. They cannot deliver here anymore because of this pandemic.
So that's also the most challenging, is trying to make the ones that are stuck in their ways jump to modern day technology. You know, it's kind of, that's a challenge.
The houses belong to the 3 surviving children of Elizabeth Asbury Wright and Arvis Wright. And so all 3 of us, our sister is not here, Cynthia Burdine, she is part of this legacy as well. And I like the way that our parent did their will, and that they include their grandchildren in the will. So after us, our grandchildren, including you, Sharon's children, and my sister's son here, JR, it's all in the family. His 2 brothers are part of that will. And so after us, it goes to you guys. And I hope that Sharon and I are setting a good example of how to run the family business.
I mean, the vision is what you see. I hope, you know, eventually we grow to doing more than just rent houses, you know? Like, it's a lot of things we can do, like, as a family, like we used to do. You know,
No,
it's
we
a
don't.
lot of
We both
legacy that, like, we can continue, you know, going. Like, Granny used to sell food and stuff, everything. I mean, when this COVID, candy house, when this COVID stuff go down, like, you know, the future, I just look at it like, what can we do to grow and make sure everybody is involved? You know?
Our rent houses, or is rather, a legacy from our parents, our mom and dad. And it's been a struggle, but I think it's a worthy struggle. And as long as I can, if the Lord's willing, we will continue to keep this legacy in the family.